Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. First up today, Kyle Bauer visits with Phil Borgic with the National Pork Producer Council about how they work with the Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Next, Duane Toews and Lacie Fair with Kansas Corn talk about the Seed to STEM program. Then it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau Update, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle and Duane. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Kyle Bauer is up first, visiting with Phil Borgic from National Pork Producers Council about their collaboration with Farmers and Ranchers Alliance.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I'm visiting with Phil Borgic. He is on the National Pork Producers Council. We're visiting today, though, because he's also a member of the Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Let's talk about your hog operation just a bit and how long you've been involved with the National Pork Producers Council.
My wife and I own a hog operation in Central Illinois. We work with 35 other grower partners to raise our hogs to market. And I've been on National Pork Council now for 4 years.
How is it and why is it that National Pork Producers Council is a member of the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance?
Well, we've I've been in the business now for 50 years, and over the years we've discovered that nobody outside of our business understands what we do, and so by working together then with the other commodity groups and other businesses, then we're able to pool our funds and do a more efficient job of educating the public, and also then have a unified message that we're all saying the same thing at the same time.
And yet not duplicating the effort.
Exactly, and we still struggle with that. As organizations, we need to do a better job of not duplicating as much as we do today. So that's a challenge that we all have, that we all want to somewhat do our own thing. And as a board member and as a producer, contributing to check off and other funds, it's going to be important that we continue to send that message back to our organizations, that they need to work together and be more efficient.
I understand one of the initiatives is View 360, or what's that called?
Actually, yes, 360, and I had the opportunity for them to come out and film my farm. So the farrowing facility that's on the website for the 360 view is one of my farrowing rooms, and that was very enjoyable, and I can't believe that technology. I was blown away with that technology.
Interestingly enough, a lot of the things we have to do as farmers on biosecurity and that sort of thing doesn't allow for us to let other people in, but by using the video and using professionals, they are able to look through your hog operation without having to let them access in person.
Yes, and we need to let them inside the door to see that. So we're not hiding anything. It's just for biosecurity, as you mentioned, that we can't let them in. We're actually at my South Farm next week. We're going to have 100% Wi-Fi on our farm that with an iPad or some other device, we'll be able to do a virtual tour of my South Farm at any time.
We're visiting with the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Tracy Streeter, director of the Kansas Water Office, joins us. Tracy, a good portion of the state is experiencing severe or even worse drought conditions. So did the recent rains that fell in portions of the state help alleviate some of the drought stress that we've seen?
There are some areas in the state that did receive some very beneficial rains, but probably not enough to make a long-term difference if things don't turn around. I'm seeing some great precipitation amounts in south central Kansas, Wichita, Newton West, into perhaps Stafford County in that area, and then east central Kansas, southeast of I-35, looks like they got pretty decent rain. Statewide, everybody got something, but the most beneficial was in that central part of the state, and it was all in 2 inches or less type of precip, which from a wildfire standpoint would help in the short run, but quite frankly, I think the fire threat's still going to be there regardless.
What are the projections here further into spring for our moisture chances?
Looking out through the end of June, we see some slight improvement in the eastern third of the state. As far as looking out for our chances of precipitation, we've got equal chances looking into the early summer from the National Weather Service. So it looks like there might be some improvement, at least from the forecasters looking into the early summer.
Tracy, a drought declaration was given for all counties in the state. Is that just on the basis of the U.S. Drought Monitor maps?
They match up very well. We look at a lot of other factors, and so does the Drought Monitor, and so we kind of mirror that. When I look at the federal disaster declarations that came out of USDA, they follow the Drought Monitor pretty closely, as do we, and so, yeah, they match up pretty well. We've got a state of drought emergency in 28 counties in south central southwest, but the entire state's under some level of drought concern, ranging from watch to emergency.
So when a drought declaration occurs, are there other programs that are triggered when that happens?
There are, particularly when it comes to fighting fire. We make sure that we're well coordinated on making sure the federal reservoirs and the state fishing lakes are accessible for fire support and even emergency livestock water. We're starting to see ponds become drier, and there are opportunities for livestock producers to haul water if they need to and can access water in the state fishing lakes and the federal reservoirs. I'd encourage them, if they need to get in contact with our office and we can coordinate that. But that's a resource that becomes available. The federal disaster declarations is where agricultural producers really can get some support.
Tracy Streeter, director of the Kansas Water Office, joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Duane Toews and Lacie Fair as they discuss the Seed to Stem program.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here, the time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now let's talk corn education with Lacie Fair, the lead teacher for Kansas Corn Seed to Stem program.
Duane Toews joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to catch up with Lacie Fair, one of the teachers involved in the Seed to Stem program with the Kansas Corn Growers Association. And Stacy, tell us a little bit about what perked your interest to become part of the program in the initial stages.
So in the very beginning, what really drew me to the program was being able to get not just a curriculum, but also the materials to take it back to my students. In education right now, we're having a little bit of a funding hiccup. So being able to take resources from the Kansas Corn Commission's very generous donations to be able to help us bring that curriculum to our students.
So following that, you're now one of the lead teachers. What exactly does that mean?
Well, what that means is we come together to write curriculum and to train teachers during summer workshops and other outreach events so that they can take some of the same lessons that we were taught and we have developed and spread that to more students across the state. So the message is getting disseminated across to as many students as possible.
So from my perspective and understanding is that the Seed to Stem program really incorporates some common agricultural concepts into the science classroom.
Yeah, what we're really trying to do right now is we're trying to focus on what are the new up-and-coming trends that we see in commercial agriculture, and how do we allow our students to have experience with those, but also prepare them for careers in the field. So make sure that they have the skills necessary to be successful so that they can become the next generation of ag leaders for us.
Well, certainly the program has touched a number of individual science teachers across the state, some ag teachers involved in that as well. For you, what was the drive to keep your interest and keep you motivated to be not only a part of the program, but to be part of those curriculum writing crews as well?
I think the more information we can get in the hands of teachers, the better off we're going to be, because they're the ones who spend the time in the classroom with the students. They lead the charge, if you will, when it comes to ag education and education in general. And so being able to be a part of that, crafting the lessons and making sure that everything is as up to date as possible and really reflects what we need to see in students entering the ag career fields is really critical for the success of our students. And whatever helps our students succeed is what we do.
Our thanks to Lacie Fair joining us on Ag AM in Kansas, talking about the Seed to Stem program with the Kansas Corn Growers Association and the lead teachers that are a part of that program to make sure its continued success well into the future. Talking a little bit about opportunities. I know each year they have new grants available so science teachers can be a part of that and receive the benefits of it.
Absolutely. Every year we have offered what we call mini grants, so grants of a smaller monetary value than you would traditionally see, more like $1,000 or $2,000. These are about $500 to $250, and they are to supply teachers with the resources that they need that they might not be able to get with their normal budgets in their classrooms. So whether that be something very simple like enzymes that they can purchase, or whether it needs to be equipment that they just have no access to, we are able to supply that for them so that they can continue teaching the curriculum that they have before them.
That's the Seed to Stem program. Here on Ag AM in Kansas, I'm Duane Toews. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Welcome Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery. And so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously. So I'm tickled to death with the results, and I'd recommend this process to anyone.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau Update.
A U.S. Department of Agriculture report says American farms have grown larger over the past 3 decades, but it's still family farmers who are running them. John Newton, American Farm Bureau Federation Director of Market Intelligence, says family farms have taken advantage of opportunities to improve their operations.
Opportunities come available for family farms to acquire more land or grow in their operation, especially as they've been successful in their farming operation. So we have seen more consolidation in agriculture. But I think it's important to remember that family farms still account for about 99% of all U.S. farms, and that hasn't changed over time.
Newton says advancements in technology help family farmers raise more animals and grow more crops with fewer people involved and less inputs like crop protection tools. This efficiency helps farmers feed a growing population.
We have to be incredibly productive. We have to produce more and use fewer resources in order to feed the world's growing population. So we've seen advancements in technology, not only on the seed side, but on the planting and harvesting side, the precision agriculture, precision application of fertilizers and other harvesting equipment. So we've seen these equipments, they've gotten larger, they've gotten faster, and that's helped us be more productive, produce more, and use fewer resources in doing it.
Newton says there has also been consolidation in several segments of agriculture, including farm machinery and chemical companies. AFBF will continue to keep an eye on consolidation trends.
We have members across the country that grow a variety of products, so we'll continue to monitor these consolidation trends in agriculture because they do impact the family farm. We want to see that farmers have access to competitively produced goods and services so that we can be the best and most efficient farmers in the world.
Chad Smith, Washington.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business has started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, headstalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews. How about if I do the fact or fiction?
Oh, no.
How come?
Your fact or fiction.
You always get to
I am the king of fact or fiction.
All right.
The creator and inventor of.
You are. That's true.
The rings around Saturn, Kyle Bauer, are 500 miles thick. Fact or fiction?
Well, Saturn's big. It's a big, and there's a lot of them. And 500 miles when you're in space isn't that much. I'll go with true.
Yeah, it's false.
They're much thinner.
30 to 300 feet.
Really?
That's not very thick.
No, it's not.
And to be visible.
That's what I was going to say.
It's not like you can look out there and see them, but with a telescope.
What are they made of?
Powerful
Do you remember?
enough.
Do you remember?
I
thought it was gases. That's what I thought.
Gaseous particles.
So that's what I thought too. So you have a thickness of 30 feet of gaseous particles around something that's that far away.
And that big around.
And we can see it.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's real amazing. I think you made that whole thing up.
I read it on the internet.
Well, there's a chance it might be true.
Must be possible.
The world's least popular country.
Least popular?
Yeah, if you were in the
nobody
tourism,
likes them.
the people that the tourism industry there gets fired every year because they can't talk anybody into coming and seeing.
Least popular country
in the whole world. I know that's tough. 200 plus countries.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Well, I could see.
Okay, let me narrow it down.
Somebody
for
might
you.
get in trouble. Is it on the African continent?
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, and
really?
it's kind of in an area that we've sent a lot of tourists over to that area in the last 20 years.
Really?
We've sent a lot of people on short trips over there, some longer than others.
Maybe in the military?
They were they're all dressed the same.
They were all dressed the same.
Yeah.
Carried a gun.
Yeah. I'm narrowing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they say it's
Pakistan?
Iran.
Iran?
And I'm thinking, okay,
that
Iran
can't hardly be.
Well, you remember that couple here not too long ago where they were hiking through Iran and they got
apprehended.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, all right.
What were
I'm
you
thinking,
thinking?
what were you thinking there?
Yeah.
Father-in-law was kind of upset that the son-in-law had taken his daughter there and they had been
Kind
put
of
in
upset?
prison for 5 years.
Yeah.
Kinda.
What were you thinking?
Well, and I'm thinking if they were going, what kind of person would talk?
I didn't realize Iran was quite that bad anymore. I mean, I can think of worse places where you could get.
Well,
in
that's
trouble.
what I'm thinking.
North Korea, for example, go hike along
I don't
the border
think you
there.
I don't think you can even get in the border of North Korea.
Do they have a fence all the way around?
Well, all right, maybe. Okay, every place has a fence, right? Well, except the United States. But it's a question of whether the top of the fence points inward or outered.
It points out.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.